Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda, and this is Gizmo.
We're the village's newcomers. Today, we've got a great show for you. We're going to talk about things like the pros and cons of buying an older home versus a newer home.
And you cat lovers, what to do with the kitty litter box. And is the garage big enough?
Why do some villages have gate attendants and others don't? Plus, we're going to give you a short video from our recent visit to Memphis, Tennessee. All that and more.
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
Did you watch that meteor shower last week? We used to love to do that, and we were in Memphis at the time.
Yeah.
So it was too much light pollution for us. So we didn't get to see any shooting stars. We made no wishes. Did you guys see it? Hopefully you did. Let's begin with some shout outs. Kristen and Eddie recently visited the villages and they went to the Big Daddy Don Garlett's Museum. Here's a picture of Eddie. Bill, Robin, and Bailey sent this picture of Bailey watching Gizmo on TV.
Greg and Kim sent this of their pet Emmy watching Gizmo on the TV. And we want to thank that little elf that left us a present on the front porch. Thank you so much. Very nice. And I got this lovely tile from, I think, Sharon down in Finney. What a lovely gift and a surprise. Thank you.
Yeah, that was quite a while back, though.
I know.
Did you forget the last few weeks?
I think I did.
We received this beautiful calendar all the way from Alaska. And we want to thank John and Verena. We've been there 3 times to Alaska. Love Alaska. She had a nervous breakdown. I was there, believe it or not, photographing grizzly bears. And we went out in the wild many times. And one time we had a little close encounter. And let's just say that she feels about bears like she feels about alligators.
I do. And Jean sent us this lovely book called Village Dresses. Thank you, Jean. So adorable.
We'd like to wish a happy retirement to our dear friend Brenda. She's retiring after 33 years from the Hershey Company.
What a great place to work.
Oh, man. We went on the tour up at Hershey about 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
We made our own candy bar, the whole deal. Wow.
We should show clips of that someday.
You'd think she'd be a lot heavier, though, wouldn't you? Working
What's
at
up
Hershey.
with that?
Sometimes we'll get a letter that's not really a question, but it's kind of interesting. So I want to read you this letter we got from Walt, and we'll talk about it. Howdy, Jerry and Linda. Though I love the villages, and mine, Del Mar in particular, I have a few pet peeves. People do not give the right-of-way to pedestrians when crossing the street. This includes golf carts as well as street-legal vehicles. Speeding 20 miles per hour unless otherwise posted, and top speed for golf carts. Where are the cops? I've only seen one cop with someone pulled over here in 6 months. These people come flying through our street after the square shuts down at night. Then there's dogs off leash.
Uh-oh.
We have off-leash dog parks, which is fine, but when walking Chip on the multimodal paths by the golf course or the field by Rio Grande, there's almost always with their dog off leash. There's a law that the dog must be on a leash here in Lady Lake. You're also supposed to pick up your dog's waist. Thanks for listening, Walt. I can sympathize with you, Walt, because I think some of you have heard the story. Linda was walking Gizmo on a leash back home in Indiana. In fact, I would say this was an absolute contributing factor to us moving to Florida. In our own front yard, a Rottweiler from a neighbor ran into our yard, grabbed him, viciously thrashing him back and forth. and put you in quite a spot, didn't it?
Quite a spot. I haven't recovered too much from big dogs. I'm pretty scared of big dogs now. What do you call that?
PTSD.
Yes.
No doubt about it. She has it.
Yeah.
She was afraid the last 2 years we lived there to go get the mail.
Yeah.
So we're with you on that. As far as pedestrians having the right of way, that's right. But I mean, Walt, a smart pedestrian keeps an eye out for cars. And if there's any doubt, don't go, right? And police, we see them, but we don't see them very often, do we?
No.
What we do see, though, is our village watch.
Yes.
They're here multiple times a day, up and down the streets. It's civilians like us that just patrol, and I know they have a radio or they stay in contact with law enforcement if need be.
They do a great job, and they go slow through the neighborhoods. And multiple times when I'm walking Gizmo, I see a great presence. I love that.
They would also be helpful if a big gator came in your yard
They better
or
be.
something like that. They would call the appropriate people and get that done.
Yeah.
But Walt, we hear you. And Walt, there's always something to complain about. And we don't mind you airing your grievances here on our show. It just kind of tells everybody what they might expect here. We were up there in your neck of the woods last week, a couple of times. Ooh, the traffic.
Yeah, that's a lot of traffic.
Right there at Morse Boulevard and 466. Holy moly.
Yeah.
We were going to the doctor. Twice we went up there. And man, we were stuck in traffic. So we know it's kind of a zoo up there during high time, which we are in. Ready for that first question?
We're ready. This is from Kathy. Where do residents locate their kitty litter boxes in homes? There are many different models with varied floor plans, but I just can't figure out where you can locate it. Well, we're not cat people, so I don't know too much, but I would imagine in the laundry room area.
Right. We have a little section, don't we, Biden? Back there with his dog food container and his dog bowls. They're in the laundry room. But I mean, there's not a lot of room in these homes.
No.
Now, we've got about 2,000 square feet. We do not want the kitty litter box out here in the dining room or even on the lanai because we use it all the time. We don't want it in the bedroom. You don't want it in your tiny bathroom. No. So where do you put it? You put it in the laundry room. You open the door then to come in from the garage. You're hitting the dog stuff there's just not a lot of room. You have to be creative. Best thing to do is teach your cat how to use the toilet. That's been done. I've seen it on YouTube. The laundry room, some houses don't have laundry rooms. No. In fact, when we stayed on the lifestyle visit, the washer and dryer was in the garage.
Right. We did view a home that had a little cat door or a dog door where the animal would go outside or into the garage, and it had a place for the cat litter box. So there's creative ways to do it.
Right. And we did get a letter this week also from somebody that suggested a pet door through from the laundry room to the garage and keep your litter box out there, which would be a pretty good idea if you don't mind having a flappy door in your laundry room.
Yeah.
For the snakes to crawl through.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Huh? Eddie is asking about banks. Are there plenty of banks in the villages, and what options when it comes to banking? Or do you have to go outside the villages? Eddie, to be truthful, the villages is a really well thought out community. Banks are big money makers. They're huge money makers. And there are plenty of banks inside the villages. In fact, the villages has its own bank. I think that Citizens First Bank is owned by the villages. That's where we bank. We like it. It's a good bank, and there are lots of locations, and that's right here in the villages, and there are other banks too. So you're not going to have to worry. He also wondered, did you keep your bank back home when you moved to the villages? And the answer to that is yes. Our primary checking account actually is in our bank back in Indiana, but we did get a checking account here as well. So you can do both. I think we're about to phase out of the Indiana bank, though. We like those people. They're friends. Yeah. They know us by name. You can go in there without your ID and cash a check. I don't think you can do that down here.
This is from Guy and Kathy. Do you or anyone you know have an opinion on older versus newer? This consideration would also include villages, area, rec centers, amenities.
They're asking the age-old question. If you come here for a lifestyle visit, your sales agent is going to guide you toward the newer areas. That's where the new construction is. There is no new construction up here, north of 44. None. When I came here, I asked my agent, I said, hey, show me a lot here that hasn't been built on. Maybe we'll build a house. He said, there aren't any. I said, come on, man. You know there's at least one. There's another lot out here somewhere. You didn't build on them all. There's got to be one. There's not. They built out every single lot north of 44. So all the new construction's down there, and that's what they're pushing. That's how they make their money. If you want a pre-owned, you could buy one north of 44. That's what we did. We like the area north of 44 better than south of 44. Everybody would have their own reasons for that. What's your reason?
Oh, I don't know. I just love it. I like the area. I like the closeness to my Walmart marketplace. I like the closeness to our golf courses that we golf at.
It's kind of like when you build something and then you perfect it. The old homes have been lived in for a few years. Ours was just under 3 years when we bought it. Mm-hmm. And they had added all the touches, crown molding. They had added a mini split air conditioner, and they had glassed in the lanai, plantation shutters, epoxied the garage floor, painted the driveway. Lots of things had been done that would have been extra expense to add on after you build a new home. And new homes now cost a lot more than they did 3 years ago when we moved in. Even for the exact same home, you would pay, in my mind, $200,000 more. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. I am all the time. She tells me. But it's going to be more expensive for a new home now, especially after you add all those frills and bells and whistles that don't come with a new home. Like our enhanced landscaping, we have 4 palm trees. None of those came with the house. You know, they're all extra. So there are a lot of things, new versus used. Up here north of 44, you're going to have a bigger distance between your home to the street. So if you want to set back off the street, up here might be better. If you want a bigger backyard, down there might be better. They have more bike trails. They have more walking trails. They have better views on lots of their lots. Lots of lots.
Lots of lots.
So new versus used, we chose used. If we had it to do again at those prices, we might have built a new house down there. Who knew it was going to explode like this? We have multiple guys on today's show. GUI, that's the name. I want to apologize to Miss Dennis, who doesn't like us using the term guy, but that's their name. Mm-hmm. And he says, with regards to new construction and perceived build quality, have you had any feedback from residents of an established home, say 15 to 25 years, versus the newer builds, say less than 5 years old? Guy, we haven't. I know our house now is 6.
Yeah. And
it's great. We are very happy with the construction. We're comparing it to back where we came from, and we think it's actually superior, we think. We like the block and stucco, the sturdiness of this home. Mm-hmm. And we like the electrical wiring. You know, we lived in that other home for 35 years. By the time I got done adding this and that, holy moly, it was a mess. So we're impressed with our new home. But we haven't talked to anybody in a 15 to 25-year-old home that could tell us any different.
We haven't.
I do notice that as homes age here in Florida, if you don't keep them up, they start showing it with a little mold or mildew. You got to keep that under control in this hot environment. And we do that. We have it power washed once or twice a year. And that seems to have kept it totally under control here.
This is from Jason. Are most garages big enough to house 2 cars and 2 golf carts? Ooh.
Most houses is the key to your question there. The Villages is a big city. Yeah. It's over 60,000 homes. I would say that most of them do not house 2 cars and 2 golf carts. I went out for a ride this morning and I was amazed at the number of begonias that I saw. That's a house plant. Uh-huh. It's a very popular house plant and we really like it. That's 2 cars, 1 golf cart plan. So that would be very, very common. Mm-hmm. In fact, why don't you just take a look at this video I went out and shot just for you, Guy.
This home is a begonia. You can notice the garage door is on the inside. That is also a 6-foot garage door. 6-footers will accommodate a golf cart, but not a car. Also, if you notice homes with the garage on the inside, meaning closer to the front door than the large garage door, that is often only large enough for one golf cart to go in because there's a wall straight ahead. This is an example of a home with a full 2-car garage and a total 3rd-car garage. You can see that garage door on the right, the handle's in the middle. That is a full 8-foot door. So there you could have 3 full-size vehicles. This home, the golf cart garage is on the outside. That often allows for 2 carts to be parked, one in front of the other. Of course, that makes it a problem. If you want to take the inside cart out, you have to back the other one out first. There is a screen in front of the main garage door that allows you to raise the garage door and still have the screen down for ventilation. This is a designer home with a 2-car garage, no golf cart garage. You could park a car and 2 golf carts in there. Again, the carts would be stacked. Here's an example of a home with a 2-car garage. This is a designer home, no golf cart garage. Another 2-car garage, no golf cart garage. This is a villa, a courtyard villa. You can see it's basically a 1-car garage. They call it a 1.5 and say that you can get a car and a golf cart in there. The curved driveways make it a little tougher. Newer villas often have straight driveways, which make that a little bit easier. Here's an example of a courtyard villa with a 2-car garage and a curved driveway, but you could park 2 cars in there. You could park a car and 2 golf carts in there. If you wonder if it is a 2-car garage or 1.5, notice the handle of the garage door, it's right in the middle. That means it's a full 2-car garage. There's an example of a 1.5-car garage. Notice the handle placement of the garage door. This is another example of a patio villa and a 1.5-car garage. Here's a villa. I just happened to catch the garage door open to give you a good look at a car and a golf cart in there. Lady was very kind, and I asked her if I could take the photo, and she said, go right ahead. So that's a picture of the garage with a car and a golf cart. You know, it's not as tight as I said, but you can see there's not much room between that car and that door right there. So it can be done. You got to be careful. Here's another garage configuration. 2 single doors. I think in there you could park a car and 2 golf carts. 2 of those golf carts would be stacked one in front of the other. If you got really creative, you could probably put them side by side. And you don't see too many garages like this in the villages.
So you can see there's a little bit of everything out there. The villas often have a 1.5-car garage,
Right.
and you saw it works. Then there are homes like ours with a 2-car garage and a golf cart garage with that smaller door. And then you have the creme de la creme, the home with the 2-car garage and then another 1-car garage.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
That would have been nice.
This is from Joanna. I recently watched a chef talk about how an electric oven is better in elevated areas and a gas oven can be better at sea level. I know you talked about Linda being a great cook. Oh,
Well, she is a great cook. Last night, let me tell you, I told her I wasn't hungry, but she said, I'm going to feed you anyway. And she made meatloaf and cream peas and mashed potatoes.
his favorite.
Oh my gosh, it was good. And let me tell you, her meatloaf, you know what I call it? Meat candy. It is so good. I love her meatloaf. But you're the expert. I mean, we have electric. We don't even have the ability to have gas unless we'd install an outdoor propane tank. And sometimes they bury those here, and they're allowed. But we don't have that. We have strictly all electric.
And it works fine. I'm used to it now. I was pretty spoiled back home with two ovens. One oven that had a smaller oven and then a bigger oven at the bottom, like for turkey for Thanksgiving.
I have spoiled her
He
for the
spoiled
last
me rotten.
44 years.
So I'm kind of keeping my eye on that. But anyway, I think everything works just fine. I don't know about the sea level business.
Yeah, but you know, Paula Dean and who's that one I like?
Oh, Giada.
Giada, yeah. They have gas stoves. You know, it
Yeah,
seemed,
a lot of people have gas stoves down south of 44. A lot of the homes have gas there.
and up north they have gas as well.
Yeah.
But we're in a little pocket of electricity, which I like. Let's say you're a snowbird and you go north, you still have to pay that gas
Yeah.
facility fee
Yeah.
every month. And you could not use any gas at all and you still have to pay it. So, I don't know. We're happy with electric, but, you know, Paula Dean's happy with her gas. Patrick asks a really good question. Why do some villages have gates which are manned for guest entry? It seems like most villages do not, but a few do. I don't know how many. You could call the sales office. They could probably tell you how many manned gates there are, but I think they're getting fewer and fewer. We have one off of Buena Vista right here to come into Hillsboro where we live.
Right.
And then on the way to where we get groceries, there's one right up there at Sanibel, the one he talks about, that has a manned what do you call
A
that?
man station.
A gate attendant.
Gate attendant, yes.
And I went out and did a video for you. Let's look at a few of the gates in action. We had a second question as well on the same topic. I'm wondering if the villages has a main gate entrance or entrances that keep the public out. Or can the public drive through and stop and shop and eat? Good question, and a misleading idea for a lot of people when it comes to the villages. We are not considered a gated community. You don't have to pass through and provide credentials, and we don't have to call ahead saying, let my cousin come through.
Yeah.
Anybody can come through. Every grass cutter, every plumber, every electrician, every florist, a pizza delivery, they can all come through.
Yeah.
There's a little red button. They can push that and come through. And the villages will take a little picture as they do that. The squares are not actually in the residential areas of the villages and have no gates whatsoever. So you can go down there and watch the entertainment without being a villager. You could go to any of the shops down there or any of the restaurants. You don't have to pass through any gates. Just go down there.
This is from Robert. Is there any talk of the villages starting up their own police department? With all the expansion, it would seem to make sense to have a police department just for the villages.
Robert. I did a little research for you, Robert. I took some similar sized towns. I'll give you a couple, for example. Waco, Texas is about the same as the villages. Peoria, Illinois is about the same size as the villages. they're going to hire approximately 240 to 250 policemen. The average policeman's salary is $56,000 plus or minus. That's about $13 million a year we'd have to pay for our own police force.
Wow.
Plus the police cars. How many cars? We've got at least 100 cars, right?
Sure.
And a maintenance, a motor pool. And what about administrative assistants, evidence technicians? You got a giant snowball of tax dollars. We belong to, or we live in Sumter County. Sumter County Sheriff's Department handles it just well. And regardless of what you hear on some of the newspapers, the Villages is not a crime-ridden city. It's not. We don't need our own police department, and it would be an extremely expensive thing, and taxes, I think, would go through the roof. Carol and David are wondering about the fences in the Villages. They noticed most of the homes don't have fenced backyards or sidewalks. Is that true for all of the Villages? That's another misconception. Sidewalks. Our street, our little street we live on, we don't need sidewalks. Very lightly traveled. The side streets here, we don't need sidewalks. If they did, they would eat up what little front yard we have. We don't need it. But the major streets like Hillsborough, Pinellas, they have sidewalks.
They do.
And other streets like Morse Boulevard, Buena Vista, they have the multimodal trail, which can be walked on.
Yeah.
So sidewalks are not an issue. There are plenty of sidewalks where sidewalks are needed. But fences, if you have yourself one of these little whiny critters, you're him whining today, he wants a treat. There are homes with fences. There are lots of homes with fences. Primarily, you're going to find courtyard villas will have a fenced area, and you could have a pet back there, and a little more privacy. Sometimes it's a concrete wall with vinyl fencing on the sides, all the kind of different materials.
Right.
And she knows of a type of designer home.
Yeah, there's designer homes, a lot of them down south of 44 that are called veranda homes, and they are designer homes and do have a courtyard or fenced-in areas for your pets, a little bit more pet-friendly.
So throughout the Villages, yes, there are some homes with fences. If you don't have one, if it wasn't built with the home, you can't add one.
No.
You cannot put up a fence later like you could in lots of places like where we lived. Believe me, we put fences up after that Rottweiler tore into my little buddy there.
Yeah. This is from Felicia. I remember you mentioned churches before. Do you feel that there is a good selection of local churches, in other words, denominations, membership sizes, midweek services? And Felicia, yes, there are numerous. There are over 100 churches here. So you have every denomination you can think of here. So you're going to find a church. And if you don't, you can go outside the Villages. They're everywhere.
Time for our last question. Paul and Roxanne, right? We're used to going downtown in Los Angeles. How about that? All the way from Los Angeles to the Villages. For original and traveling Broadway theater productions, where would you go to see a professional theater production of, let's say, Hamilton? Would it be Orlando? Yeah, I think it would. I think it would be Orlando or maybe Gainesville. But don't discount the nice productions that come to the Villages.
Yeah, the Sharon has some really wonderful shows.
They will have some awesome things. And if Paul and Roxanne, if we can talk you into a little bit of country music, you got the Orange Blossom Opry just 5 miles north of the Villages. Maybe not even that far. We've seen B.J. Thomas there. Who did we see there recently?
Gatlin Brothers.
Oh, we saw Gatlin Brothers at the Savannah Center.
Yes.
But so I mean, hey, you're going to catch a lot of shows in the Savannah Center, the Sharon, the Orange Blossom Opry. If that's not enough for you, they have the Tierra del Sol Theater. There are places to get your cultural fix here. Gizmo, you have been quite impatient. He's been begging for a treat, which we have not given him. She almost broke down a minute ago and said, let me give him one. But, I mean, we're just feeding the beast when you do that. Now, I know he's a good boy. But he has learned how to train us, I think, better than we have trained him. So no treat until after you do your job. Are you ready for your segment? Okay, let's see what you got.
know, once in a while you hear stories about eagles and big birds picking up little doggies like me and flying away? They say don't leave your dog out alone because they can fly down and get it. Daddy told me that was a bunch of malarkey. But I watched a YouTube video, and let me tell you, I'm not going out there without Mom and Dad. If you go on YouTube and look up eagles picking up animals, I saw one picking up a kid. No way, no how am I going out there by myself. A friend sent me this joke. Do you know what you get when you cross a dachshund with a calculator? You get a friend you can count on. And you can count on me.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Don't you worry. We're not going to let an eagle get you. No way. No way. Now, many of you know that last week we went to Memphis and we visited with our son, our daughter-in-law, and our new grandbaby. Here's a short video of a few of the sights that we saw. Oh, we got some good fried chicken at Gus's famous fried chicken. I don't have a video of that because I ate it all. But we went to the Lorraine Hotel. That's the somber location of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And that was really good for me to see as a history teacher. I'd seen pictures my whole life, and I got to see that. It was outstanding. And I've got a video for you to show you not only that, but that pyramid in Memphis. I'll bet some of you have seen that. I looked it up. It's the 10th largest pyramid in the world.
Crazy.
But now it's a Bass Pro Shop. So you can go in there and they've got a couple little indoor ponds and a giant aquarium and all kinds of stuff to do. And there's a hotel in there. So take a look at this little video we threw together.
We had actually been to Memphis years before, but we didn't get time to do much sightseeing. This is right downtown Memphis, the site of the horrible assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King at the Lorraine Motel. James Earl Ray shot Dr. King from across the street. He went down on that balcony right there. We've seen it in pictures so often throughout the years, but this is the first time that we've actually been there in person. Room 306. That's our middle son, Dave. He's in the Navy. Took time out to show us his precious little baby, Winnie, and gave us a little sightseeing tour around Memphis. The National Civil Rights Museum is right there at the Lorraine Hotel. And then we went over to the Big Pyramid. The 10th largest pyramid in the world is now the home of Bass Pro Shops in Memphis. What a building. Until 2004, that pyramid was the home of professional sports teams and rock concerts and major events around Memphis. It's a delight now. Can't wait to take the other grandkids back there. We had a good time in Memphis. The best thing about it, only weighed about 6.5 pounds. Can't wait to go back.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of
Mailbag Monday.
Be sure to tune in to our show on Thursday. It's going to be our Christmas extravaganza.
Yeah, we're going to have beautiful decorations. You're going to see some trees and some great people. And we'd like to take this opportunity to wish Merry Christmas to everybody that doesn't catch that show. But we'll hopefully see you on Thursday.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
See you when you get here.